From Montgomery, Alabama, Bassing News covering the highlights of the 1982 Bassmasters Classic with Phil Snow at Montgomery Civic Center.
Here is where the king of this year's Classic will be crowned.
Bob Barnes at the launching area.
This is where the tournament begins and ends. Fishermen will leave here at sunrise and return at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for 3 straight days of competition.
Tommy Boutwell at the equipment lot.
The world's top bass fishermen will have the best of equipment. Over $750,000 worth of modern machines, all rigged exactly alike, waiting to take them into fishing supremacy.
Sammy George at Montgomery River.
You're looking at 80 miles of river, where contestants will find the finest bass fishing in the world.
And at the Classic Control Center, Jerry Ammon. Good evening. Montgomery, Alabama, the biggest and most prestigious fishing tournament in the world. The 12th annual Bassmasters Classic, the Super Bowl of bass fishing. It's one of the most exciting events in sports history. Everyone has been supercharged since the opening day sunrise startup. Last year's winner, Stanley Mitchell, would have to be considered a favorite for Classic 12. But some things have changed since last year, and that evens the odds. There's new water, another 20 miles of it this year. Below last year's cutoff at Swift Creek, each of the boats is topped off with 24 gallons of gas every evening. But that's just about enough to get to Swift Creek, do some running, and get back. So the Bass officials put a tanker truck down there for refueling and made this Classic a whole new ball game. Even though Harold Allen, who trailed Mitchell by only 15 ounces at the final tally last year, proved there were bass in the creeks, most of the best action was on the creek mouth and river bar structure. And the new lake banks that were created when the old river level was raised by the damming of the river. But this year, the new water of the Alabama River, or Lake Montgomery as the bassing crowd calls it, has several good creeks below Swift that have a bunch of good standing timber. This new water is also generally deeper and wider than upstream where they fished last year. Pretty obvious that a lot of fishermen think the new water is the ticket because they've been covering up this new area. There's a lot of new water. It's a whole different ball game this year. There have never been two classics alike, not since the very first a dozen years ago at Lake Mead in Las Vegas. And something that's never happened in a classic is the Grand Slam, where the #1 bass angler of the year also wins the big one. Roland Martin has tried 7 times. Bill Dance had 2 chances. And this year is Larry Nixon's shot. This young Texas angler outdistanced the rest by some 36 pounds coming into the classic and receives the largest check of his career. We'll see what happens because nothing is settled here until the last cast. Grab him by the tail. With as many fish just over the 14-inch minimum that have been weighed in, several big fish the last day could change the whole scoreboard.
Well, maybe it's something.
The setting is ideal for the Classic. Montgomery is the home of B.A.S.S, and it was here that a dream took root and grew into a flourishing reality. For a closer look at this romantic city and the atmosphere surrounding the 1982 competition, here's a report from Sammy George.
Montgomery is located on a sharp bend in the Alabama River, and it is in these waters that the fishermen will be searching for what they hope will be $40,000 worth of bass. This city has one of the most unusual histories in the South, or anywhere in the world for that matter. Montgomery Montgomery grew out of the cultures of Indians, Frenchmen, Spaniards, squatters, traders, and various settlers. Those who first came here were outdoorsmen for the most part, and they depended on what they could catch or shoot in the wilderness to provide their livelihood. As this city and the South grew, the culture and values became more and more sophisticated. What developed was a unique subculture that had a devastating effect on the nation's destiny, culminating in civil war. Now, the color and unique past of the South blends into a modern, progressive city. The stately antebellum homes and landmarks coexist with industrial development, Air Force bases, and sleek fishing boats. This is Sammy George in downtown Montgomery.
Still, the appreciation for sports in the out-of-doors has never been lost. And at no time could that be more evident than now, as fishermen attack the Alabama River with the world's most sophisticated equipment and proven skills.
There were more than one of them.
And 35 of these bass anglers got here through a series of 7 head-to-head competitions that had up to 250 anglers per event.
Will they stay in here, or will they leave?
The top 15 Angler of the Year finishers, along with 10 fishermen from the East Division and 10 from the West, make up the main qualifiers. And it was down to the wire for several of those classic qualifiers at the last meet on the Ohio River in Cincinnati. More than 6,000 spectators were there when Larry Nixon earned the championship trophy and clinched the Angler of the Year award. Additionally, 5 top amateur contenders from the 1,600 Bass-affiliated chapters are here this year, as well as last year's winner, Stanley Mitchell, who is an automatic qualifier. Now for a look at the equipment the fishermen will be using in this classic. Let's go to Tommy Boutwell at the equipment lot.
Jerry, I'm here at the Civic Center parking lot, which has been transformed into one of the biggest collections of superboats in the world. There's nearly $750,000 worth of modern Bass machines here. They're rigged identically and are waiting to take their Bassmasters in quest of $100,000 worth of prize money. Every contestant will be fishing from one of these 18-foot bass rigs. They're powered by big, tough, and fast 150-horsepower 6-cylinder engines with power trim. Up front, the trolling motors are powerful 12 24-volt models that can pull these big boats in any wind or current that they might generate on the river. The trolling motors are powered by 2 big 105-amp deep-cell action-packed batteries that will keep the fishermen going all day, regardless of how big the demand. For the big motor on the back, there's a super crank battery that's specially designed for starting requirements on modern outboards. And believe it or not, Jerry, there are 3 depth finders on every boat. There's an in-dash flasher they use when running, a super accurate console-mounted graph, and another flasher in the front so they can stay on their structure. You name it and it's here. Flush-mounted throttle control lever, built-in kill switch, dual steering, 2 aerated live wells with automatic timer, and so on. I mean, they're fishing in some really gee-whiz kind of boat, Jerry, and fast. This is Tommy Boutwell from the equipment line.
Over at the Montgomery Civic Center, which had been turned into a bass angler's fantasy island, the crowd mills around dozens of manufacturers' exhibits of boats, trucks, bait, and all sorts of fishing tackle, previewing things to come in the fishing industry. What you've just seen has set the stage for what we'll be bringing you live in just a few minutes, and staying with until Classic 12 is history, and the best of the best puts a $40,000 check in his pocket. The final day of fishing begins as every other day did, with a sunrise start. A cold front which passed through the area yesterday put a nip in the air today. No wonder many of the contestants and their press partners covered up with snowmobile suits or 3 layers of clothing topped off with rain gear. Optimism is running high among the leaders, but they also know, as do the other contestants, that a stringer of big fish can change the whole thing in a minute. And there's excitement about this because there were many big bass caught in practice. To recap the first 2 days, Billy Noah of Thomasville, North Carolina, led the pack with a first-day catch of 12 pounds, 2 ounces. Close behind him, and less than a fish away, was Guy Eaker of Cherryville, North Carolina.
Guy Eaker coming forward, 41 years old.
With 11 pounds, 4 ounces. Bill Ward of Amsterdam, Missouri, was less than a pound behind, with 10 pounds, 12 ounces. And Ron Shearer found 4th place, with 10 pounds, 9 ounces. Paul Elias rounded out the top 5 with 8 pounds, 12 ounces. But that all changed the second day.
Let's get a nice hand. Slow down. All right, now let's stop.
Thursday's front-runner, Billy Noah, slipped to 5th place. Bo Dowden charged into the lead with a great catch of 12 pounds, 13 ounces for a 2-day total of 20 pounds, 1 ounce. But he's not that far ahead because Paul Elias put 5 bass on the scale for a weight of 11 pounds even and brought his 2-day total to 19 pounds, 12 ounces, just 5 ounces behind Dowden. And another person to be reckoned with is Jack Chancellor with 16 pounds, 13 ounces. He placed 3rd here last year, and his catch yesterday of 7 fish, the first and only limit of the tournament, says he has some fish found. The story of the day is that Bo and Paul are both fishing the same water. It's going to be interesting.
Fuel switch is connected. Pull your motor down. Let's be careful. There's still some stuff floats down the river.
Alabama, you're beautiful to me. Well, I live here, and I'm proud. My daddy before me taught me that way, 'cause he lived here, and he loved this land. And I can still hear him singing at the end of a hard-working day. He'd sing, Alabama, you're beautiful to me. You're where I want to be. From your rolling mountains to your shining sea. Alabama, you're everything I need. Alabama, the beautiful, you're beautiful for me. Your peaceful river so clean and deep, where the paddle wheelers glide, and your marbled mansions with mirrored halls echo of days gone by, and your tall oak trees whispering in the wind, and your flower perfume day. The city lights, the star-filled nights, and your small town courthouse squares, and your welcome here. you'll come again. You might even tell a friend about Alabama, the beautiful. Alabama, the beautiful. You're beautiful for me.
Everybody out there is pushing hard. It's the last chance for the big bucks. Even though there are a lot of anglers way back in the pack, the tide can turn fast if they get into a school of big bass that decide to turn off. Stanley Mitchell, last year's Classic winner, has really been having his problems. Here's Tommy Boutwell.
Jerry, last year the man from Fitzgerald, Georgia, came out on top with a big bass the last day of the Classic. However, he did lead throughout the entire Classic. This time, he's behind. But can he catch the big bass? They were caught during practice, and they're in the water, and they're here. Can he catch the big bass today and win the Bassmasters Classic? We'll soon find out.
These are the best anglers in the country, and they've earned the right to be here, and each is capable of pulling it out.
Right now, what?
It's been tough here the last 2 days, and we'd guess today is no different.
Just lucky. Real lucky.
I just got word that Bob Barnes is with first day leader Billy Noah. He's fifth today, but still in the running. How's he doing?
Jerry, I'm here with the first day's leader, Billy Noah. He had 6 fish the first day, but that pattern on crankbaits fell apart yesterday. It's really too early to tell what'll happen. It only takes a couple of big fish. Back to you.
A cold front pushed through, and the skies are high and the river's running. Less than ideal conditions, but then everyone is fishing these same conditions. It's a fair test. There have been a lot of fish caught here since practice started Tuesday, and some good fish. But not every fish caught gets to the scales. It must be 14 inches long, and for every one brought to the Civic Center weigh-in, many, many more have to be turned back. In fact, the abundance of smaller non-weighers is almost predictable on a cold front, which historically will turn off the better fish. Sammy George is with Bill Ward, the 4th place contender coming into today.
Jerry, I'm watching the quiet man, Bill Ward. He started the day only 1 ounce out of 3rd place, but he's having problems today. Remember, though, his 2 fish yesterday weighed 3 pounds each, so he's on to better quality fish. He's throwing mostly spinnerbaits, and how can you tell? The next dozen strikes won't put him right back in the money.
These are the final hours of the Classic, the Super Bowl of angling, the World Series of bass fishing. And you can bet they don't play the big game on a Little League diamond. There's a lots of water out there, and a lot of it can go through the dam, while a lot is happening around the corner in the creek, or on the drop-off. We hear there are a lot of fish being caught. We don't know by who. Bob Barnes has found the number 1 and the number 2 man. What's happening, Bob?
Jerry, we started out this morning to find the 2 top runners, and here they are, Bo Dowden and Paul Elias, both in the same hole. Bo, who's ahead of Paul by only 6 ounces, just landed one. Looks to be about 4 pounds. Paul has been on the hole since early this morning, and he has 4 fish. A couple of them are good fish, around 3 pounds. Jerry, both Bo and Paul are throwing crankbaits in the same area, actually within feet of one another. It's a real showdown. Right now, they're both casting as fast as they can, for the cash. It's fascinating out here, Jerry, because just one cast to a big fish might be worth 40,000 bucks. Back to you.
We're coming into the final hours of the 1982 Classic, and the champion is still to be decided. We're receiving reports from all over the river that bass are being voted. But the acid test, the final authority, is the scales. And the time for their decision is getting closer by the minute.
Jerry, it won't be long now. The first flight is in. They left here this morning at 7, and that first group out has to be back in by 3. It's been another tough day fishing for these men, and they're exhausted, but some of them are pretty happy. The boats are loaded as they come in, and then they are taken to the Montgomery Civic Center. There, the countdown to the championship actually takes place. This is Bob Barnes at the launching site.
Phil Snow is at the Civic Center now, covering the preparations for the crowning of a champion.
The officials are ready for the weigh-in. We're waiting for the first fisherman to arrive.
The Civic Center is packed with over 5,000 fishing fans just waiting for the contestants to pass their catches over the scales. First fisherman in is Roland Martin. Roland, the all-time bass money winner. Roland was in 7th place yesterday. Only 2 fish, 3 pounds, 11 ounces. Better luck next year. Jimmy Houston's 1 fish today. Won't put him in the top 10, but Jimmy always has something good to say.
It was pretty good out there today. I don't know exactly how to describe it. It's somewhere right between stomping baby chickens and going to the dentist.
This is anybody, I'll be honest.
Billy Noah found the pattern the first day, but just couldn't keep it together.
Certainly understand it. Here comes Billy Noah. Let's give a nice hand, folks. This man is in 5th place and led the tournament on the first day of competition. 4 pounds, 4 ounces. Nice hand for Billy Noah.
4 pounds, 4 ounces. Gives Billy a 3-day total of 19 pounds.
Let's have a nice hand for Billy Ward. Billy, that'll still keep you right up in the money.
Bill Ward could only find 2 keepers.
3rd place man with 16 pounds and 13 ounces. Let's have a nice welcome, please, for Jack Chancellor of Phoenix City, Alabama.
Jack Chancellor finished 3rd last year. He's in 3rd place with 16 pounds, 13 ounces.
All right, Jackson, come on up tight, pal. We got how many fish in there? 4 bass. Jack caught a limit yesterday. Now we're adding to 16 pounds, 13 ounces, and here we go, folks. Seven pounds, 11 ounces, folks. That's good weight.
7 pounds, 11 ounces. That gives Jack a 3-day total of 24 pounds and 8 ounces, and he takes the lead.
Now, Bo Dalton. Bo Dalton.
Bo Dalton won the 1980 Classic, and his total up to today, 20 pounds, 1 ounce. He's only 4 pounds, 7 ounces out of 1st place.
Here comes Bo, folks. Let's give him a roaring good hand for Bo Dalton. Our leader. All right, Bo Dalton. 2 bass, Bo. And the lead is 24 pounds, 8 ounces, and you got 20 pounds, 1 ounce. All right, that gives you 3 pounds and 2 ounces. Won't do it. That's 23 pounds and 4 ounces. You're in 2nd place, Bo Dalton. Jack Chancellor still in the lead. Congratulations, Bo. Paul Elias, Lima, Mississippi.
Paul Elias had 19 pounds, 12 ounces through yesterday. How many fish has he got? He's got to have 4 pounds, 13 ounces to take the lead.
19 pounds and 12 ounces. It looks like look at that, Harold. You see the monitor, Harold. All right, there he is, folks. Hey, 31 years old. He's got to have how much, Harold?
413.
Got to have 413 to take the lead. I think he's got it. I think he's got it, Harold. All right, let's give him a nice pound hand, folks. Come on now. All right. Appeared in wonder, along Mississippi. That's a beautiful bunch of fish. How many bass do we have? 7, folks. A limit. 7 bass. I tell you, that's the only limit we've had today, and the second one of the tournament. Paul Elias came from behind, deducted from that. I don't think you have to worry, but we'll see. Watch the monitor, folks.
£12, 12 ounces. Paul Elias wins the 1982 Bassmasters Classic.
First person. I know. Where is Renee? His wife. Renee's coming up here. Where is she? Bring her around over here.
And here he is, Paul Elias, the 1982 Bassmaster Classic champ. The best of the best. It's got to be a great thrill for this 31-year-old Mississippi angler who finished 7th here last year. Before we leave, we've got to read you an excerpt from the Bass Classic report, which was published before this tournament started. It reads, if there's a dark horse in Classic 12, Elias is aboard. He has the bassin tools and determination. And it looks from here that Paul Elias rode that horse pretty well. This is Jerry Ammon for the Bassmasters Classic in Montgomery, Alabama.